How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTCReaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we did try to get our breakdown, but we did not hold. This is showing why confirmation is important. We'll look at the lower time frames. VWAP is pulling back, momentum is dropping, money flow is bullish, but is starting to stagnate as that VWAP pulls back and favors more bearish. So I would watch, as that could cause us to drop away, despite this little retest of this channel here. So we did break our neckline. We did not confirm under it. We got a retest and broke through and shot right up. So now we're hitting our previous consolidation range, and now we're starting to reject. I would watch this because this could be a higher high. Watch for higher lows in this range. If we get higher highs with higher lows, we can push forward. There is a 70% chance of that happening and getting a bounce off our neckline. However, if we pull back to our neckline and do not hold, I would watch for that push down still. Momentum does want to round with a red dot. VWAP is pulling back and the money flow is in the red, so I would exercise caution there. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are pushing forward away from this descending channel, so we're going to delete this channel as we're not really getting much play out, and I would warn against further drops. RSI is starting to pull back, VWAP is flat, momentum is starting to stagnate, so watch that VWAP. It needs to gain more strength if we're going to see that money flow push up and push dominance higher. Remember, dominance can decrease, Bitcoin can still increase. That would just mean our altcoins would do better than Bitcoin. So over on the 1 hour, stochastic is pulling back, VWAP is starting to favor bearish, momentum is dropping, and that money flow is bearish. If that VWAP does not reverse soon, then it's likely we would continue to weaken that dominance and see our altcoins outperform Bitcoin. But over on our altcoins, we do have this rising channel. We did try to break down from this rising channel, so we will delete this as we got our breakdown, and now we're retesting and trying to push forward, trying to invalidate that full breakdown toward that like 93.6. Momentum does want to round with a double red dot, stochastic is pulling back, VWAP does want to push down, and that money flow is pretty flat here. Over on the 1 hour, we are seeing a pretty decent run up, so we do have higher highs and higher lows. We are trying to make a bullish continuation. This could be a double bottom, so watch that double bottom. If we break this zone where we are right now, that could try to push us back toward the all-time high and try to push us forward to break through it. So now that we've seen how this played, we'll delete that. Stochastic is rounding, VWAP is trying to break down, Bud's holding bullish. Watch if that VWAP can continue a bounce off neutral. If it can, momentum will continue further, and we will stay bullish, pushing price action higher, meaning our altcoins would continue higher, and with that dominance weakening, we could see Bitcoin do a little bit of a pullback or stay pretty flat as our altcoins make another run. Over on Bitcoin futures for the 1 hour, it does show we could pull back to 89K here. Momentum wants to round. We have a double red dot. That is a 60% chance too. So that would be dependent on us breaking through that 98. If we pull back to 98K, do not hold, then we could continue down toward that 89K, and the daily does still have that drop down to that like 77. So we still have that gap as a probability there. Watch the 1 hour as that VWAP did have lower highs and now we have lower lows breaking neutral. If we stay below this neutral, momentum will continue to push with that red dot and money flow will weaken. If that money flow flips right and holds, then we will break down. There is going to be no trading on futures, so it's going to be hard to see how that continues here on futures. Watch Bitcoin, they do mirror each other. That's why we cover them. Futures just trades at a bit of a premium to Bitcoin. And they do sometimes have differences. Like futures, you'll see gaps on Bitcoin, you won't see as many gaps. So over on Bitcoin, we are pushing forward. This is positive. We did feel that 10% probability to push to that 97.88. I would watch, there is a 90% chance we push to 112K. So that's a pretty strong push. Momentum wants to gain strength. VWAP is pushing up. We have higher highs with higher lows. And that money flow does want to push forward. So Bitcoin looking like it does want to run up, with dominance looking like it does want to pull back, could mean that Bitcoin may just not gain as well as our altcoins, and we could see our altcoins pump up very strong again. Over on the 1 hour here, we are starting to see a round away, so again, watch for a lower high. If we break that 97K, then we are likely going to push down to our 94K, and if we can't hold that, that's where you would continue lower. Momentum does want to round. We have a double red dot pushing that VWAP lower, so watch that VWAP as it continues lower. Momentum and money flow will weaken, and if money flow flips right and holds, we will see higher time frames start to break down more drastically. Over on graph for the daily, we are trying to make a bounce off that support resistance area of that 31,954. Momentum that has a double red dot. Our signs stochastic are pretty maxed out. That VWAP is trying to push forward. Our money flow is running up, so we do look pretty positive here. But watch that VWAP. It's not very strong right now, so if it doesn't gain strength on lower time frames, it's likely we would end up breaking away. Don't know why that full screen won't come back. There we go. So over on the 1 hour, it does look like we have a chance to pull back to around, I'd say, this 33,639. If we make a higher low there and continue forward, then we're going to retest that 37,664. However, if we do not hold in that range and we see a pullback, watch for that drop toward that 2916. That'd be just shy of that value area high and just above our buy area. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to drop. That VWAP is starting to break down, so watch that VWAP. We have a lower low. If that continues to push down, our money flow will start to pull away. Higher time frames will start to pull back, and we will end up dropping down. So we did end up getting our Ondo alert. So if anyone got in on that alert, that's good for you. So over on Anchor, we will hop over to the daily. Here we will cover Ondo just to see how that alert went. So over on Anchor for the daily, we have an indecision candle, but we did try to come toward our 51 and retest it like we warned. Stochastic does want round, momentum is running up, VWAP is bullish, and money flow is pushing forward. So the daily does look positive. Just watch lower time frames. If they don't hold that positivity, it's likely we would round away. So there is a 46-67 chance that we do end up pulling back to that 54.48. If we don't make a higher low there and we break that 51.72 from that point, then it's likely we would continue lower. However, if we see a bounce either there or 51.72, then there's a higher chance that we can retest that 68.17. There's about a 61% chance, but that's going to be dependent on us getting higher highs with higher lows. So if we don't see that, we are going to break away. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding with the red dot. VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is pulling back. So overall, I would exercise caution. Over on XRP for the daily, we did just shy of that buy-in area again. So that's why we kind of put in this area. It is a pretty strong support resistance area. Momentum is starting to pull back. RSI does want to push down. That momentum does have a bearish divergence as well. That's signaled by that red line. VWAP is pulling back. Remember that divergence does mean we can end up breaking away, but it doesn't really look too big of a divergence right now, in my opinion. Over on the 1 hour, we did break that neckline, and we are trying to make a double bottom, much like we covered on, I believe that was total. So we are trying to push forward, or that was Dixie actually. So we tried to get our pull back, retested that neckline, pushed forward. We were unable to gain bullish traction, broke that neckline, and then we broke forward again. So this could be a clue that this head and shoulders may not play out. We will delete this at this point. But that being said, that means we may not see that full breakdown. We may not get our buy order filled. Then our MPP does say we could end up dropping down to that buy order. So maybe we end up scooting this up a little bit. Getting I don't want to mess with it too much though, because I don't really want to average up too high. Our average is about 205, and we are doing decent profits. Our stochastic does want to round. RSI is pushing down. Momentum is rounding. VWAP wants to pull back, and that money flow is in the bearish territory. So we do look pretty decent here. Again, just watch the lower time frames. Watch if that VWAP holds bearish or not. If it does, we could break away. But as long as we keep getting higher highs with higher lows, we will see a continuation forward. So over on Algo for the daily, stochastic is starting to break down. RSI is starting to weaken. Momentum is breaking down as well. VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is starting to head toward that bearish territory. So watch that VWAP. If it does not reverse, momentum and money flow will start to drop from here. Over on our 1 hour, we do have a probability to pull back to that 39.45. There's a 40% chance that would be dependent on us not getting a higher low somewhere around this 47.61. So if we pull back to 47.61 and make a bounce, then we could revisit our previous highs and try to continue forward. However, if we don't get that higher low and we see lower lows and lower highs, we're going to end up breaking away, possibly toward that 37.49. Our momentum does want to round. RSI is pulling back, so stochastic is starting to push down, and the VWAP is in bearish territory, so I would exercise caution. and that money flow could end up rejecting if that VWAP continues to pull back. So let's look at Ondo here. So we had that buy-in like right here, and we pretty much smacked that right on the candle. So we did pretty good there, and then we pushed forward. So we did have that inverted head and shoulders, and we did see a retest. So that retest was right here, and we saw that bounce. So this is a pretty strong break. That's about the max break up. So if you're in a short-term trade and that's all you wanted Ondo for, you probably, actually we extended that shoulder a bit, but then we made a double bottom. So if that's all you are here for, you might want to consider taking your profits now and getting out now. However, if you're in Ondo for long term, then you may be looking at previous ranges. I don't think we have any previous all-time highs here. So we are making new highs here, as well as other coins. Again, as the rest of the market continues to push up, this would likely continue, but I would watch for the bear market because this may be a strong point where we end up crashing back down to. So that being said, if you end up taking some profits in the short term, consider buying in this area in the near future, probably later this year or later next year. So thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join